And if you're trying to convince me God is not real after what I've been through, I'm pretty sure you're going to fail. Because the only thing I did was pray.
God is the real deal, man.
Yeah, the only thing I did was pray, and now I'm okay. Mimi nilikuwa napelekwa Kenyatta Hospital every week, twice a week. Every week, twice a week, because I had appointments. Every week, twice a week, napelekwa kwa ward ya watoto. They check my mental, they check my physical. I used to have therapists there. But it is so hard on her mentally. And I know my mother, she is so strong. She has grown up so strong. She's also very stubborn. And by the time akwambie she's going through something, hiyo kitu, it's almost iko karibu kumaliza kabisa. So she's actually the person I look up to. When I say I want to be strong, when people tell me I'm strong now, I don't think I'm strong, because I have looked at my mother and she has done such a wonderful job, like just holding us through everything.
Yes, inakuwaje watu wangu wa nguvu. This is Daniel Onsare, and of course tulisema this year we are doing things differently, and we started with a high note of trying to know what exactly we're going to do and how can we do it, and how different exactly are we going to do it. So in good luck we've tried something na tumeona imeanza kuwork. Kwa wale watu wenye wamekuwa TikTok pale na Instagram, I think you've seen what we've been doing. And my guest for today is someone that I met kwa streets, and we did a video. I think I'm just going to play it after the introduction. We did a video yenye ili move hisia za watu sana, that moved so many people emotionally. And now I decided to do what? To say, why not try and bring her on my YouTube channel so that you can also gain from her story, because her story is so motivating. Apart from being motivating, it's somehow emotional also, because I know watu wenye tunapenda kukata vitunguu tuko wengi, nikiwa mmoja wao. I felt a story when we were shooting and I almost cried. But now, since I have her here, I want us to introduce her to you so you can be able to learn one or two things from her, and of course to songe mbele. And the show itself inaitwa hii show ni mpya to you viewers, inaitwa My Testimony, and my testimony is I mean, tunawaletea watu, they speak up, they tell us their story, what exactly they've gone through and how they've managed to be where they are right now. And hata kama make it ama uja make it, just a testimony is something that can uplift someone. So we're here and let's do it. My good name is Daniel Onsare. Karibuni sana.
It's been 12 years now, but it's still, she still takes drugs for it, and our lives have never been the same. But I would not say it's as painful as it was then, because I experienced a lot, especially when it comes to how the family treated us after we were admitted. It was difficult, but yeah, right now we're good.
What can you tell that person who is watching and going through the same issues yours?
Well, I would say the issue I went through is having to take care of my mother and my brother while I was still very young. I was around 7 years old, and it was not easy because pia mimi ni mtoto. It took a weight on me that I didn't realize I had only after therapy. But yeah, it's completely possible to undergo all that, take care of people and still thrive in your own way. But also, like, do not lose yourself. Do not feel like since you're taking care of everyone, like you have to forget yourself. Like, take care of yourself as well. And if taking care of yourself means you need to take a little break from things, you shouldn't feel guilty, because yeah, it's okay.
Wow. What's your name?
Katie Marie.
And what do you do?
I'm a third year design student at UON. I live life.
Yeah, with no further ado, let me just introduce my guest. Hata si mimi namintroduce, let her introduce herself so that we can be able to know who she is and I mean amejipata aje hapa. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
My name is Katie Marie Njoki. I am a third year fashion design student at UON. I am 20 years of age. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Nimejipata hapa after a very random but welcome meeting a few days ago, and I was unaware of how much my story would have touched people. Like, I remember at first I was skeptical about it, but I'm so glad a lot of people have come to me in my DMs and everything. And the of course people have gone through a lot, and I appreciate everyone who has sent me hugs, who has wished me well. And yeah,
I mean, when I was stopping you, I didn't know that number one mtasimama kuniongelesha because it was just a random, you know, those random interviews zenye tunafanya. I think kama mumeiona hapo hivyo, because I said I'm sharing, it was just a random meetup kwa street akitoka shule. Yeah,
nikitoka exam.
Unatoka exam?
Yeah.
Then I said, let me just ask her tujue what exactly she's, how was that one thing that ilimuuma sana as atusaidie kumotivate wa Kenya, and of course from her story and watu wengi walini reach out wakaniambia, because you have a YouTube channel, please look for her again, do now something that we will sit down and watch, because that was less than 2 minutes. The video that we did was less than 2 minutes, and now she's here. Karibu sana.
Asante.
Just to start us off, umetokea wapi?
Mahali naishi.
Yeah, where is home?
Home ushago kwetu, and where I still live to date ni Lower Kabete. I've been brought up, like, we've moved around, yes, but I'll say primarily nimekuwa brought up in Kiambu County. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Uko ndio ushago?
Uko ndio ushago, yes.
Watu sisi tunatumianga 2,000 3,000 kutravel kwenda ushago.
Natumia 50 bob nafika home.
50 bob wanafika Ocha.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing anyway. Home is home.
Home is home.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that most of my extended family iko around here, which was a very huge factor. It was, yeah.
I mean, everybody was talking about your eloquence in English. Umesomea wapi?
Well, I've gone to a lot of different schools, but ever since nikuwe mdogo, my mom has told me I have just loved English. My mentor, someone I've always wanted to meet because I really adored the way they talk, is PLO Lumumba. I used to watch him. I've not met him yet, but I am so, like, I feel like nikimmeet I will feel inferior because of how good his English is, but I really look up to him. And since, you know, primary, I've been the English rep for all of my classes. Yeah, till high school, everything.
So just to mention a few schools that you went to school.
Just to mention. Okay, I'll say the high school I went to, it's called Kabare Girls. It's a national high school in Kirinyaga County. Yeah.
And primary immediately before
Mali nilimaliza KCPE, I went to a public school. It's called Kingero Primary School. Yeah, it's a Catholic school. Public iko tu around home. I know, sasa unajua nimesema primary mali iko, yeah.
Kwenda high school, sorry to ask.
The KCPE mark, I got 380.
Kutoka public school?
Yeah, from a public school. I was the second best in my school. Yeah.
Mumesikia?
Yeah.
And then you went to...
And then I went to high school. Yeah.
How was life in high school?
Life in high school was interesting. I'll not say I was bullied, because I was not. You were the bully.
I
was not the bully. You know, just because I was not bullied does not mean I was the bully. It's just I nilikuwa na mdomo
ya kujiongea
nikiwa first year, not first year, form 1. Nilikuwa najiongea. And it also helped that I had a couple of friends from home who had gone to the same school, and yeah, I felt comfortable because adi the dorm I was taken to, the school mothers wenye nilipewa, they were very comfortable, welcoming and accommodating, and I'm sure not a lot of people can say that about the high school life, so I'm very grateful because sieti walikuwa welcoming because my mother gave them, unajua after mzazi amepeana form 1 anapatia the school mother like a yogurt or something. My mother did not do that. They were just naturally warm. And I had a smooth transition into high school, and I'm so grateful for that. Yeah.
Ambia yule mwenye alikupatia smooth, mwenye alikushikilia vizuri mmoja, najua yuko. Ni nani? Alikuwa
anaitwa Hilda. Alikuwa ananitengenezea kitanda. You know, I was so short, I couldn't reach my bed. So sometimes she'd come and make my bed for me. I was so tiny. Nilipata growth spurt in form 3 during COVID time. Na hiyo growth spurt I got to 4'10". Like right now I'm 5'0". So I was shorter than 4 feet 10 inches. I was very short. Nilikuwa nakaa ni kama bado niko primary school, class 6, 4 hapo, and I'm in high school. It was so
that's okay.
That's okay, eh? Nimeamua ni interrupt kidogo kwaje?
Niko poa sana man.
Poa. Sasa piga tutaongea, niko around.
Sawa bro. So now the story that as pole for the interruption.
No, it's okay.
That's Kyoko. The story that has caught the eye and people have got an interest to know your story.
Yeah.
You've spoken about your mom, how she got what was the
postpartum depression. Yeah.
I mean, how was it? How did it start to now where?
Well, considering I was still very young, I don't remember the details of how exactly or what the symptoms were.
Yeah, I will just wish you would hear what you can remember.
What I can remember is how it impacted me. One, I'll say it's not talked about enough because a lot of people do not know, apart from all the challenges, physical challenges a woman might get after having a child, there's also the mental struggle. And I'm not saying every woman gets postpartum depression, but postpartum depression is a thing and it's affecting a lot of women, and it's not talked about enough. Like right now, my mother experienced it. I still don't know much about it. I know she still has to take drugs for it 12 years later to help her sleep, to help her not be stressed or anxious. But yeah, like why is it that not every person on the street knows that a woman can give birth but she can also get this?
It's funny for me because I heard it from you.
Yeah, you see, it's
like
not...
It was my first time kuisikia. I even don't know the way it's written. Nitajaribu kwenda kugoogle about it, and then know more about it. But I know most of the people walisikia from you. Now, how were you brought up? As now you, because you said in the interview, if I take you back, you said that you were helping your mom to bring up your brother.
Yeah.
How was the experience?
For me, I'll say in the moment, I was happy because I had begged my mother for years for a sibling. Like, yes, I did love being an only child, but of course, unaona mtoto anashinda kiuliza, when will I get a brother? When will I get a sister? And I was very advanced for my age because I used to play doctor with my mother. And I don't have other friends to play with. I used to play doctor with my mother, and actually naweka doli katikati ya miguu yake and I tell her to push. That's how bad I wanted a sibling. Yeah, so what I remember after she had the child, is I loved taking care of my brother. I loved lulling him to sleep. I loved changing his diapers because I felt like I was doing something not other kids my age are not doing. I loved kumbeba niende nilale na yeye. You know, I just nilikuwa nasikia vizuri. But then there was an underlying problem because my mom, yes, she did get the postpartum depression, but it wasn't on the side where she doesn't want to breastfeed the child. She just feels she physically isn't able to do anything. She's like, it's kind of like normal depression, but it's after she gave birth. She feels like, oh my God, like this is too much. Stress inamaliza, anxiety. She has 2 kids to take care of. She's trying to her best to live up to what people expect of her, but it is so hard on her mentally. And I know my mother, she is so strong. She has grown up so strong. She's also very stubborn. And by the time akwambie she's going through something, hiyo kitu it's almost iko karibu kumaliza kabisa. So she's actually the person I look up to. When I say I want to be strong, when people tell me I'm strong now, I don't think I'm strong because I have looked at my mother and she has done such a wonderful job, like just holding us through everything. So yeah, honestly, to answer your question, I feel like I'm doing a lot.
It's okay. It's your time.
Yeah, to answer your question, I loved taking care of my brother. I didn't feel like it was an issue. So I have an aunt. She's a doctor. I'm not sure what she specializes in. It's a very rare specialty, especially in Africa. It's not welcomed. I think I'll comment under your videos what she does after this because I'll have to go and ask her. So she observed my mother's behavior with the child and everything. And she was like, you know what? Something is not right. Something is really not right. So she had to go away. And that's when life changed. But before life changed, it may take a couple of years for people to realize. I think it was 2-3 years before people realized my mother was struggling. That's how strong I'm telling you she is. 2 to 3 years before people realize you're depressed and you're taking care of 2 children on your own. Mind you, the pregnancy was hard on her because after she had my brother, she lost her job because she had to stay home to heal and everything. She lost her job. That's not the first thing that happened. Then we had to move to my grandparents' place because now we can. I'm only.
She can sustain you.
Yeah, I was only 7 years old. I have to go to school. I have to get prepared. Nini. She has another child, so we had to move. That's number 2. Number 3, I used to go to a private school. Now I had to go to a public school after that. And before I went to the public school, ni like simple luxuries zikaanza kukua taken away. Things like getting the bus to go to school. Now I had to walk to school. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying I was so used to the simple luxuries.
Those things that you got used to from day one when
And then now I had to share my mother. You know, pia your transition, in as much as you want a sibling, the transition pia inakwanga a bit hard.
The attention and
Now I have to share my mother, not only with my sibling, but with the entire family. And I was so used to living, it's just me and my mom and her work, and we're okay. We have like a situation going, and it's good for all of us. I had to share a room with my cousins. I had to share everything. Imagine like umetoka from being an only child to now sharing everything. And I didn't have a problem with it because my mother had brought me up to learn to share and everything. It was just a big change. It was just a big change.
the transition.
Yeah.
And now you've moved to your parents and yani your grandparents.
Yeah.
Now life imeanza fresh.
Yeah.
How I mean, from now the transitions and all those things, wewe kivyako ulikuwa una feel aje? Did you feel out of place? Did you feel that now you have to adjust you yourself? How did you even manage to?
Well, at the time, I wasn't feeling like it was a big change. But the way I started acting, it can tell, like, children, they don't know how they feel, so they express it through their actions. Unapata mtoto amekuwa aggressive and you're wondering what's going on. That's why, like, in school you'll find the counselors, they're asking you what's going on at home, because this is not how you usually act. So I'll say at the time I didn't understand the toll it had taken on me. It was all new, but again, because nimekwambia we lived, my extended family iko tu around. It wasn't a big deal because they had been active in my life. So CAT, it's a complete shock. So now, yeah.
And now, fast forward, and again, referring to the video, you said the way the family now started treating you. There's something that you spoke about family, the way
Yeah.
they were treating you, which was not comfortable, which was not usual, because now you have a sick mom. Nini. I mean, can you talk about it?
I can.
Yes.
So when I said it, of course I said it in a negative aspect. In as much as right now I'm trying to show you how good it was that they were around. But also at the time, they forced me to grow up. They forced me to be independent, and to this day I don't think it was a good thing, because I was taught that now, since your mother cannot handle stress, she cannot handle anxiety, you cannot tell her about what is stressing you, because it will stress her out and it will make her relapse and she'll go away again. So now I'm keeping all my problems to myself because I do not want my mother to go away again. So I was living in constant fear that my mother would go away.
Go away in what way?
Back to the hospital, to the rehab where she was taken. So I'm in constant fear that I will make my mother go away. So I don't think that was a positive thing at all. But I don't blame them for how they reacted, because again, people only react the best way they know how. At the time, they forced me to grow up. They forced me to be independent, silent, and to handle my own problems as nikiwa peke yangu. It is a positive thing. It is also a negative thing, because now nikaanza kuweka vitu inside. I'm pushing them down. Eventually, and it was going to be like a whole other story. Eventually, I got a stroke because of like kupata stress. But this was a couple of years later, because I had pushed things down so much. Ikafika, I was 16. I had a mini stroke nikiwa high school, because I wasn't talking about what's stressing me out, because again, my mother will go away. So many years of being stressed out and thinking I'll stress my mother, and my mother kept telling me, no, it's okay, you can tell me, it's okay, you can open up. But I was always scared she's going to go away. So yeah.
I mean, you got a stroke.
Yeah.
In ukiwa shule.
Nilipata nikiwa shule. Kwa dom, yeah.
How long did you stay in the hospital? How long did it take for you to get back to how you are right now?
Well, it wasn't like a full-on stroke. It's called Bell's palsy. Bell's palsy is where the nerves on one side of your face, they stop functioning completely. So you can't close one eye, you can't close one side of your mouth, you can't move your eyebrows, and then it sags, it droops. And a lot of people do not heal completely from it. Some take 2 months to heal from it, 2 weeks. It's caused by stress. And so mine, it took me a couple of months of therapy, both psychological therapy and physiotherapy, because at the time before I had the stroke, nilikuwa nime have like about 7 weeks of back pains and unable to move around the school. Nimefura miguu, napelekwa hospitali, blood work is done, nothing inaonekana. And I feel like at the time my own body, my own mind was making me sick because of the stress. In as much as after that we came to find out, yes, nilikuwa na shida ya mgongo. For some really weird reason, I'm convinced my body made me sick. Because what do you mean nafura miguu, nashindwa kutembea, nashindwa kuinua anything, hadi kusoma class, my concentration is so bad. And jua ikiwa imewaka kama vile jua imewaka sahii, I'm trembling, nimeshikiliwa na all my friends, they're trying to make my body warm. That was not normal. So 7 weeks later, and it was post-COVID, which makes it worse because now I have a lot to cover in a short time, and I have this much stress weighing on me, and then I'm sick. So unaona the stress inaongezeka, and then I had the stroke. And I remember I was also a captain in high school. I was also a captain at the time. So nilikuwa captain wa dorm. I had to wait watu wafanye kazi and then niende class. When the matron came to check if watu wamefanya kazi, you know, watu walifanya kazi, watu wanamaliza kuosha, they're rushing to get to class. So they left me in the dorm. Nilikuwa nimelala kwa kitanda. They left me. They had, like, I had woken up, nimevaa uniform, nimekaa tu hapo, nimelala juu. I'm just waiting for people to finish. People went to their class and they left me there. The matron came, found me asleep, akaanza kuteta. Because of course I'm not supposed to be asleep.
Yeah, it's class time.
Yeah, it's class time. I'm not supposed to be asleep. So when she woke me up and I turned my face, she screamed. I'm like, why is she screaming? Like, it's not that big of a deal. You know, okay, in high school, you're like, sitting to class, you know. Like, why is she screaming? Then she stopped suddenly, kunitetesha. Akaniambia, just go to class. And at 7, I think it was 7:30, that's when we used to go and see the nurse. You come see the nurse immediately. I was like, okay. I put on my mask and I went to class. Because I'm telling you, like, the nerves on my face are not working. So mimi si feel anything is out of sorts. And because I'm late, I'm not going to take a mirror, nijiangalie. No, I rushed to class. I got to class. One of my friends, anaitwa Melissa, we're still close to this day. She looks at me and she's like, are you okay? Is your eye okay? I'm like, yeah, I feel completely fine. So a few hours passed, and then eventually I took off my mask. And Melissa was horrified. My deskmate was horrified. Alikuwa anaitwa Idel. They were all horrified. Lucy, I'm just naming my friends as I can remember them in the order of how walikuwa wameniangalia, wako in shock. And I'm like, what's going on? And wanashindwa what to tell me because they also don't know what's going on. Someone hands me a mirror. I look at my face and I cry. The worst thing, I'm crying out of one eye, which makes me even feel worse. Like, nalia jicho moja, I can't close the other eye. Everyone is looking at me scared, like, what's going on? Because again, nimekuwa na 7 weeks of continuous problems in school, napelekwa hospitali, blood work, everything.
Nothing is working.
Nothing is working.
Kuna ugonjwa inaonekana.
And now nimeamka, I'm coming to class and my face is drooping. So everyone is so horrified. My mom was called. I didn't even know my mom had been called until she showed up to the school. So my mom was called when the matron saw me. She went and called my mother immediately. She was like, you need to come and get your child. And they're not telling her what's going on. Now you can imagine my mother, who I am not meant to stress, who I have not told for the past 7 weeks I'm not okay in school because I do not want my mother to go away again, has been called in a state of urgency, come and get your daughter.
Oh.
Of course, they could not tell me. They could not tell me. So my mother got to the school at around 4. My mother
in
is,
the evening.
yes, and it's a huge commute from Kabete to
Yeah.
So she gets to school at 4. Let me just tell you what my mother does for work, so you understand why it was also like a big deal that she actually came to school on the day. My mother is a chef, self-taught chef, but also she has gone to school for baking. But she doesn't work for a hotel. She's self-employed. So I will say the work she does, she's a food vendor. She sells food in offices in Westlands. That's where she is situated. So she cooks from home, then she brings the food to the
Dropping
offices.
yeah. So she had to do the cooking.
She was already cooking in the morning, as they called her. So she starts cooking at around 5, 6 in the morning. So they're calling her, you need to come get your daughter. And for her, she's like, okay, I'll come get her. What's wrong? Let me just do my work and then I'll come. But they're not telling her what's wrong. So she senses, motherly instinct. She's like, something is
wrong.
not okay. So na she had to find someone to do the work for her. Because with inconsistency in her work,
lose clients.
She loses clients. And she lost clients after she was diagnosed with postpartum depression. So she had to go and look for another office. And again, nimekwambia, she lost her work after she got my brother. You see, a lot of things just... So she comes to school at 4 and I'm called to the office because the deputy, usually alikuwa leave by that time, but she was in school. I was called to the office and I remember I still have the back issues. I'm not even wearing my school shoes because I can't lift them off the ground. I was wearing sandals. Nimefura miguu. My uniform, like the uniform I'm wearing is dirty because now I used to, because siwezi jifulia, my friends ndio walikuwa wananifulia. I was having a lot of problems in school. My friends ndio walikuwa wananifulia, walikuwa wananichotea maji, wananiwekea kwa bafu. Honestly, I am so grateful that I had such a support system in school. I don't know what it is that people were so drawn to helping me in school. Like wangenipata hata na struggle kwenda choo, unapata mtu ananishikilia. I just thank God. That's a big deal because 2001 wasichana tunakuwa na maringo. No, I'm not going to lie. Tunakuwa na maringo. But the amount of support I received in that school, not only from the students, the teachers, everyone was so accommodating. Like hadi walimu waliacha kutuambia twende lab, wanaleta the chemicals in class, tunafungua madirisha because I could not get to the labs on time. And it was so nice. So yeah, my mama akakuja, nikatembea kwa ofisi pole pole tu. Pole pole, I'm just getting there. And when I got there, my mother almost broke down. But she had been prepared by the deputy. The deputy was like, if you break down, she's also going to feel a certain type of way. So try to be strong. I walked into the office. The deputy asked me, okay, this is your mother. What do you think? I'm like, I think she has been crying. And she was trying so much to not cry. And they were like, hey, your mother? Yeah, this woman has been crying. Why is she crying? What did you tell her? Because again, unakumbuka mimi, in my head, I'm like, do not stress this woman. Do not stress her. She's going like, what are you doing? I can handle all of this. In my head, I'm telling myself, I can handle all of this. I'm not going to die. I don't feel like I'm going to die. Like, do not stress this woman. My brother needs her. So I was sasa mimi nimekasirika. Na mimi ndo mgonjwa, nimekasirika because they're stressing out my mother. What are you doing? What's your problem? Like, don't call her. I didn't tell you to call her. I'm not in pain. So, yeah. From there, I had to go home. Because they're like, we've taken her to Kerugoya Hospital. Blood work was done. I was actually taken to Kerugoya Hospital like a few days before the incident. Blood work has been done. Nothing was found. She doesn't have a problem with her kidneys. We cannot explain why her feet are swelling. and now her face is drooping. We do not want to keep your child here, agonjeke aende. And I love that my school was very considerate when it came to things like that. They involved the parent.
Nilisoma shule fulani hivi niliafu kutoroka shule ndio nijipeleke hospitali. I remember nilifika hospitali ndio nina faint huko. Yani ninaangukia daktari pup. Aliambiwa huyu angetoka hapa, angefika huku. Angeenda.
I had okay, I'm not going to say the cameraman, that's I'm not going to say the fees was the difference. I feel like I don't know what the difference is, but honestly, the only thing I can say right now about the entire situation is I am so grateful. I remember I had a good relationship with the nurse at my school, because again, I used to get sick a lot. Pia mimi nimekuwa like from a young age nimekuwa na like recurring sickness here and there nini. Saizi I am mostly okay. Ni shida ya mgongo, shida ya tumbo ilipotea kabisa for some weird reason. I think it was also stress. Yeah. So
stress unakonga na acid kwa tumbo.
No, for me it wasn't. Sikuwa napata acid. In primary nilikuwa naenda hospitali a lot of times napimiwa hadi there was a time doctors were convinced I had been sexually assaulted as a child.
Oops.
Because of the problems nilikuwa nazo za mwili, but I'll say my grandmother's prayers worked. I'm not sure I believed in them. I'm not sure I believed in them. I'm not sure what happened, but the only thing we did to combat it was pray. And if you're trying to convince me God is not real after what I've been through, I'm pretty sure you're going to fail. Because the only thing I did was pray.
God is the real deal, man.
Yeah, the only thing I did was pray, and now I'm okay. Mimi nilikuwa napelekwa Kenyatta hospital every week, twice a week. Every week, twice a week, because I had appointments. Every week, twice a week, napelekwa kwa ward ya watoto. They check my mental, they check my physical. I used to have therapists there. And nothing ever came up on the scans. The last option for me was to go get an MRI. But now, the reason we didn't get an MRI was because another family member had recently gotten an MRI and got paralyzed by it. So my family was very, mtoto wetu hatakuwa paralyzed. We are going to pray about it.
Wow.
And now I'm okay.
So fast forward to now. You're in
campus.
In campus?
Yeah.
How is life?
Life is good because, again, God has helped me create a support system. A really good support system. I have my friend, again, mwenye amenileta hapa. We met in first year, the first week. And we have not left each other's side since then. And it's not like we're not our own people. We have our own things going on, but we have become so close. My support system in high school did not die out. We still meet, we still plan events, we still go out together. I will just say that God, my family, my friends who have become family is the biggest thing for me right now. Campus life is good. I was lucky enough to get a boyfriend my first year in campus, and we've been together almost 2 years now. He's known at home here, and I am so grateful for him. He's also part of my support system, honestly. It's wow. It's just wow. I'm very grateful for how my life has turned out. In as much as I've been through so many challenges and they keep coming up here and there, my life is turning out better than I expected. Because hata ukiniangalia sahi, can you say I had Bell's palsy? I mean, if you look at me kabisa, you'll see, because there are still some nerves that didn't really get back. But I feel gorgeous. I feel amazing. At that time, I felt like I was the ugliest human being. I used to cry because what is going on? What is happening? And alafu, the worst part, I don't even think I've told you the worst part about having Bell's palsy. I couldn't eat. I couldn't eat without holding my lips together because my lips zinakaa tu zikiwa open. Mi napenda chakula. I couldn't eat. I couldn't see. Like nikilala, mimi
Nalalia side yenye ina function.
no, like mimi najua nimelala. But if you're in the same room with me, you'll be terrified. Because nimelala, jicho moja imefungika, ingine iko wide open just looking at you. My cousin used to wake up in the middle of the night freaked out because our beds ziko in a way we're facing each other tukiwa tumelala. And I'm sleeping. Anaamka katikati ya usiku, anapata jicho moja nimwangalia. I'm not even blinking.
Naomba nicheke just kulia.
I'm not even blinking. And
Oh my goodness.
I think my cousin also helped me during that time. In as much as she made fun of me, I feel like angesympathize na mimi, I wouldn't have gotten out of that situation with my mental health intact. Okay, it's not good to make fun of people when you're unapitia something, but you know, she's my family. She understands how I'll take it.
You react.
Na nampenda sana. But she made fun of me seriously. It was so weird. It was so alafu I had to go back to school after, but then nikavunjika mguu in the middle of therapy, and after therapy then the day I'm supposed to report to school 2 days before that nikavunjika mguu. So by the time I'm going back to school, because nilivunjika mguu nikaikuwa cast. Me going back to high school, nilikuwa nimetoka high school nikiwa form 3, first term post covid, nilirudi shule nikiwa form 4. Sijasoma, niko na a lot to cover. I have missed a lot. I am not used to this life again because now I have to readjust. Siwezi fua nikiwa nimeinama, siwezi inua vitu mzito, siwezi kula certain foods. I am on a strict diet of like oats. I have to incorporate a lot of things into my diet at school.
Ndio wewe campus.
Ndio mimi campus. A lot of people say I would have gotten an A, but that wasn't God's plan. That was not God's plan, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy with what I got because I am here doing something that I wouldn't say I was passionate about it, but right now I'm happy that I'm doing it because I get to meet a lot of creative people, a lot of different people, because I'm working with a lot of creatives. Watu wanapenda kuchora, watu wana, you know, and these people are so free and so welcoming, and it's a whole community. I think I'm just so grateful for my life.
It takes God's hand.
Yeah, I'm so grateful. I am so blessed.
So with all this happening to you, I mean, what's the highlight of your story? Where does now the juice come out of, you know? Kuna kupanda, kuna kupalilia, kuna kufanya nini? Where do you feel now that
the fruit?
Yes.
The fruit is, I'll say, how I've come out as a person. Because I don't think without all the experiences I've had in my life, I will be so grateful for the things that are in my life right now. I feel like ningekuwa naona zikiwa so vain. You know, if you've never been sick, you don't know how good health is. If you've never been hungry, you don't know how good food is. So I feel like if I didn't experience all these bad things, I wouldn't know how good life has gotten for me right now. So that's the fruit of everything I went through. Because niliona a bunch of people commenting how I've been raised well. I am just a product of the things that have happened in my life. And yes, I have been raised well. I have been taught my morals. I have been nimechapwa, nikawekwa in line. But also these experiences, the fruits are who I am as a person and how I think and how I react to things.
if you were given a minute or two that I'm going to give you now to say thank you to someone, who's that someone that you're going to thank, and for what reasons?
Do I have to thank just one person?
No, I mean, I've just given you the time to do it. Take your 10 minutes to mention them. Just
The
tell them
entire village.
thank you in the form.
I will say thank you to I'll call them my village. My village of people.
Your clan.
Not my village mali naishi.
Your clan.
But my clan.
Yes.
My farm.
Yes.
I am so grateful. My mother, my extended family, because I know a lot of extended families that fight over the littlest things. But my family is, I'll say tuko na mashida zenye familia ukuwa nazo, but we're very united. I will say thank you to my friends. Those people, like they know a lot about me. Tuanze hapo. Of course kuna zile vitu wanajua, and I wouldn't want anyone else to know. They're also very strong when I need them to be very strong for me. And yeah, I also thank God. Like the biggest thing is to thank God. And yeah, I'll thank myself. I also thank myself because if I didn't convince myself that after all these things I will be okay, I don't think I would have been here right now. I'm not saying I would have done something, but something might have happened. Yeah.
You thank yourself for not giving up.
I thank myself for not giving up. And also I feel like I should say this. I do not aim for my story to feel like a trauma dump. I just want it to be inspiring to someone. Like I know you feel like earth should just open up and swallow you whole. But anza na kukuwa grateful for the little things that you have. And if you can't find that strength in you to be grateful, just find strength in yourself to keep pushing. Because sometimes nitakwambia, so you be grateful that you have food, but that food you feel like you can't be grateful for it. Just find strength to move on. If you can only master a bit of strength, then master the strength to move on. Do not master the strength to give up.
Tell your brother something, because I mean you've spoken all this and I've not heard what you've
what I think of him.
Tell him something. If he watches this, and then he'll be like, oh, that's my sister speaking.
One, I am so proud of my little brother, because he is so smart. He is a wonderful child. He is amazing. My brother is wow. Of course, tutakuwa na arguments here and there, but my brother is an amazing boy, and he's also very understanding and caring. I feel like nitakuwa so jealous of his future wife because I'm not trying to market my brother. He's still young, still very small. I'm just saying I love my brother and I am so proud of him.
Grade am I school?
Grade. Yeah.
Okay.
I am very proud of him, and I love him very much. I feel like there's a lot I will do for that little boy. But sieti ani test ajaribu. Yeah, I love him so much, and I'm so proud of him.
Oh, now talk to that someone who's going through the million problems that you've gone through, and thinks that they are the only people who've gone through whatever they're going through, and how should they be strong?
Well, I don't think I can tell you I understand what you feel, because I do not. I may have had Bell's palsy and you have Bell's palsy, but you feel way worse or you feel way better than I did at the time. I do not understand how you feel. All I can say is if you have strength to give up, you have strength to not give up. Just be like, you're not, you don't feel strong right now, but you will eventually if you choose to not give up every day. Like, just, wake up and be like, I have 1,000,001 problems, and I'm not going to make it 1,000,002. Like, I'm going to make it 1,000,000 today. I'm going to make it 999,000 tomorrow. Like, first one thing at a time. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Like, the main thing, God is going to make it okay.
It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Thank you so much for watching. It's been my time with this beautiful UON student. Najua siku moja atakufanyia fashion pale, amesema she's going to be the next big thing.
Yeah. 100% styling, designing, everything. Yeah.
Slide hapo kwa DM yake. Just talk to her, ask her to design you, ama to dress you up. Sindio? You can do that.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Niliona watu wanapenda design yenye unavaa. Watu wanapenda pale kwa comment section.
I didn't feel kama leo nimewa let down kidogo.
No. Uko sawa.
Thank you.
And we appreciate, I appreciate for your time. I appreciate for you to just talking to us and giving me that chance to be able to remind Kenyans, to tell Kenyans that it's going to be okay.
Yeah, and I hope your channel reaches a lot more people who are in need of it, because unajua, right now social media, of course, people will hate on anything and everything, but I really adore what you're doing and what you aim to achieve.
Thank you so much.
And I really hope it reaches the right people.
Yeah, umesikia what she said, and until next time, keep it locked, subscribe, share. Manze, tunawapenda sana. Behind the camera ni Masai fulani amazing. Tawatambulisha. Thank you so much. Peace.